Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday night knit chat.
Yes, it feels like everything is right again in the world.
Yeah.
My schedule has resorted itself out. I didn't have the panicked feeling all day today because I thought, okay, no, I'm back on track. We're good.
Well, I haven't known what day it is for the past,
I know, right?
past 3 weeks. So anyway, welcome to Tuesday night knit chat. My name is Noelle, and this is my friend
Kelly.
And we are coming to you both from Southwestern Ontario this week. So I am back home, still jet lagged, but back home. And for a day anyway, another day.
Yes.
Before we go to Knit City, Montreal. But welcome, everybody. We're so glad that you're here joining us. We are a mostly knitting podcast, and we do some other crafts as well. And this is our little informal Tuesday night get together with all of our friends in the Knit Chat Cafe, and just with a little weekly catch up. So yes. We're glad that everybody's here. We're happy for all the people that watch after the fact, because we know, and we really know when we travel that everybody is not in the same time zone, and it doesn't make it easy to get there at our specific time. So
yes. And Barbara was the first one in today. She started the tailgate party off. And also Helen is in here from New Zealand, and she's working on her press flowers shawl. Okay. And then we have Cindy was working on a beloved baby hat. And then there was something else in here. I'm not familiar with this pattern. Kay Ray is in here, and she has cast on the Pass the Honey cardigan. Have you heard of that one yet?
I have not heard of that one.
I haven't heard of that one. I'm going to mark that one down. I want to look it up. I don't even know who the designer is, but I just like the name. Pass the Honey.
Yeah,
sounds great.
So,
and
yeah, it's good to see what everybody's working on.
Want to say congratulations to Roseanne. She became a new great grandma today, and that makes 5 great grandchildren. So congratulations to the new one, Roseanne. And I'm sure you've got some knitty things in the future for that sweet babe. Yes.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so it's I was going to say it's been a week, but it actually has been 8 days.
So, it has. That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
So I came home last Wednesday, which was a very long travel day, because we did have a connecting flight with a layover, and I don't know. It doesn't matter how long the actual flight is or how long it takes to get there or get back. The way home always seems 10 times longer than the way there. Always.
It's the excitement to go somewhere new. I think that makes it pass quicker.
But it's like when you get off the plane, when you're there, you're kind of going to your destination. When we got off the plane here, because we're 3 hours from Toronto, then you still had another 3-hour drive.
Yeah, there's
to get home after that.
There's that. So, absolutely, there's that. Yes.
Yeah. So everything was basically on time with the flights, other than a pretty rough landing, the roughest landing I think I have ever had. But I'll still fly again. But it was the plane it seemed like it just dropped, and then all of a sudden it just tilted like to the left, and the whole plane just went quiet, like quiet. You could have heard a pin drop, and then it kind of like went a little the other way and finally was righted. Now I do think Ross said that he had heard that it was quite windy, although we didn't think it was that windy when we were driving home, but I guess it could just be
sometimes it's that crosswind, right? It just catches the plane, and you hear about that maybe a little bit more increasing lately.
There had been
runway issues
in Toronto that had happened to, and the plane had done that and went over. So I'm sure that was going through everybody's mind.
Yes, absolutely.
But anyway, all was good, and other than then we wait for our luggage, and the luggage belt jammed. So we were another half an hour waiting for luggage, and all you want to do is get home. But anyways, I did get all my yarn home. My yarn pillow worked amazing. After the last week, I went through and I took all the balls out, and I took all the tags off the ball, but I marked them all again so I could put them back on. So then I stuffed the pillow without the tags, and it was a very comfortable pillow, let me tell you. And it went through that scanner, no problem at all.
No problem. Yes, absolutely. That's a great idea.
I have them all out. I have washed the pillow, so it's ready for the next. That's even where I could put my yarn that I'm going to work on for the next trip, and then refill it on the way home. So
yeah. You could just knit right out of the pillow. Just keep pulling that yarn out.
Right. I could have the little zipper, and my yarn's not rolling around on the floor.
Exactly.
We need to patent that.
We do.
An airplane yarn pillow.
Yes. Yes. Uh,
I'm glad to be back. And it's not really a yarn pillow. It's really a neck pillow that you buy for the airplane, but I unzipped it, took out the stuffing that was in it and stuffed it with yarn balls to bring them home.
yes.
So,
yeah. And I just want to shout out here to Linda. I'm glad you could make it. Linda got accidentally locked in her chicken coop today. She said the wooden block turned when the door closed and then it cut into her knitting time.
no.
So that would be another good reason, Linda. Always make sure that you're wearing some kind of a dress or an apron that has a really good yarn pocket. And then you wouldn't be stuck in that chicken coop without your knitting.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So this past weekend was Mother's Day. So I got a good chance to, see all the grandbabies, and that was very nice after being away for a couple of weeks. Yes. So I just wanted to share a couple of things. This is Rachel actually wrote a poem for me.
Oh, lovely.
So this little card too. It's all watercolor. Now I know if I tried to do that, it would just look like blobs of paint on the page. But here's the poem. It says, "Happy Mother's Day to the most knit-witted woman we know. You have perfected the art of being a mom and a grandma. Thanks you for keeping us all in stitches, literally and figuratively. We hope you have a great day to relax and enjoy without anybody asking, is my sweater or socks done yet?" That was from Curtis, Rachel, Molly, and Isla. So,
oh, how cute is that?
That was cute. She said she actually had some help with Chat GP. Is it Chat GP?
Oh,
GP Chat. I don't know.
Chat GPT. Yes.
GPT.
I wouldn't have thought of using it for something like that.
I wouldn't have thought of that either. I told her I wasn't going to tell them that, but sorry, Rachel, I did. Anyway, so that was kind of cute, a little card to keep. And I just want to, Jacqueline actually has been really big into the pottery. And I know some of you know Jacqueline because she's been on here before, but I just want to show you the vase that she made me and gave me. So it's so pretty. It's got like just little raised flowers on it. Yes. And she's doing really well and really enjoying the pottery. So
pretty.
Yeah. So she had her first show and she was very pleased with how she did. So
excellent.
Yes. So yeah.
I had a good Mother's Day as well. The kids, my son showed up with the joint bouquet of flowers. It's a massive bouquet. Like it was all I could do to lift the thing. It was beautiful, absolutely stunning. And there were some really unique flowers in it too. I guess they got it at Paulina's here in Sarnia. So if there's some Sarnia people here that are looking for just something a little bit different, really, really beautiful. Mm-hmm. And he had written a very heartfelt note inside of the card as well, which of course made me cry because I cry all the time. And then he had us over and we were FaceTiming with Kendall and Derek and Miles at the same time that they were here, and the grandpuppies were here. And then he had us to his house in the afternoon for a Mother's Day barbecue with Alex's mom and brother as well. So it was really nice. It was a gorgeous day. It was really nice to be outside and have a good barbecue that I didn't have to cook. And it was a really good day. Really good.
Okay. So maybe we should get this started.
Let's get the party started.
Okay. Did you have any questions?
No.
Okay. I just have a couple of things. We had talked last week about socks, and I believe we were talking about the fit of the socks around the ankles and how to get a sock that fits you. So I just had a couple of people mention that the tutorials that they really liked were Denise of Earth Tones Girls. Mm-hmm. And she's got quite a few tutorials on sock knitting. And also Kate Atherley has a book.
Yes.
That basically instructs you how to get a custom fit for your shape, size, length, whatever of foot. And then I also had someone mention, we had talked about like if your ankle was looser. So remember when you're knitting them, you don't have to keep the sock. The stitch count does not have to be kept the same through the whole sock. If you've got like a wider calf and you're pulling it up, you could actually do more stitches for a round. Then you could decrease a little bit as you go down to the heel. And then if you need less room for your foot, you don't have to have the same number of stitches around the foot of the sock as you do around the leg of the sock if you've got a difference in the circumference in those two areas. So don't feel like you're bound to just, if you cast on a 64.
Right, exactly.
That it has to be 64 the whole way. You can adjust that. A lot of people do a 64 on the leg, and then once they go down to the foot, they actually decrease down to a 60 just to have a little more of a snug fit around the foot. So that was a good point. Then we also talked about, I had a few comments about this scarf, which is the Nova scarf, and people saying when they went to the website that they couldn't buy it.
Okay.
I went to the website again, and you can't actually buy it off Ravelry, but if you link to the designer's website, you can buy it off the website. Okay, so when you go her website, if you go into the designer, like if you click up into the designer name and then you bring up her details, there is a link to her website there, and you can buy it through the website. You can't buy it directly through Ravelry, but you can buy it through the website. So, okay. And okay, one question was, how do you pick up stitches on each side of your gusset for your socks to make them look identical? I just find that works out. So I would say make sure you've got that slip stitch edge, either the slip stitch edge on each side or your garter stitch edge. So you need to have similar
yes.
The
first stitch has to be the same on both sides.
Yes.
Yes.
And I always work mine so that if I do either the 3 stitch on each side with the garter or the slip stitch, I increase 1 stitch in the middle of my heel flap.
Yes.
So that each side is mirrored. Like
exactly the same.
When you do a heel flap, you do slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, knit 1.
Yes.
So if you do slip 1, knit 1, at that first side, you've got a slip stitch and then a knit stitch. If you don't increase 1 stitch, when you get to the end, you're going to have a slip stitch. It's not going to work out. If you want it exactly, you've got to have, I'll see if I can do something on that for next week to make it more clear, but you've kind of got to have the same stitch beside your slip stitch.
Yes.
So that it works out. So, and then the 2 sides do look identical. If you don't have that, it might look a little bit different, but not much, but it will look a little bit different. So, and then if you do that, remember to decrease that stitch on your last row back. So that when you go into do your heel flap, you've got the right number of stitches.
Yeah.
So
they do, I mean, you know what? I do find, let's pull this out here right now because we're talking about it. They look ever so slightly different from side to side, even when you're doing like not with the garter stitch heel. So, like there's my one side, right?
Right.
And then, so it looks like that. And then when you look over here, I mean, it does look, I mean, they're very similar, but I guess maybe it does look ever so slightly different, just the nature of the picking up, because remember,
way they pick it up, right?
Yeah. So just make sure though, like when you're doing your slip, always slip, like I always make sure I slip them purlwise, right?
Yeah.
So that you've got your stitches leaning the same way on both sides of that flap. And
when you pick up, I always go through both loops of that stitch when I pick up.
Same.
Not just one loop, because I think it makes a better connection, like a stronger seam almost, if you go through both of the front and the back of the stitch. You're going through the whole stitch as opposed to just one loop on it.
Right. So. And also, I always pick up an extra stitch in the gap too.
Yeah.
So, and I use a little trick. Nancy Wheeler of Knit Sit Pappy posted a little, I think it's a little 4-minute tutorial where you drop down into those stitches below and you pick up like the 2 legs that are side by each. So like the left leg of the first stitch and the right leg of the second stitch, so that it kind of marries them together. And then I find that works really, really well. So I don't get a gap, no holes, because I know that that's something that a lot of people talk about, where they get a little bit of a hole there. And if you pick up an extra stitch, and it doesn't matter if you pick up that extra stitch, you're just going to do 1 extra gusset decrease when you're going around. So it really doesn't matter how many you pick up, as long as that gap, like, it's more important to me to have that gap closed. Yes.
Yeah. So. Okay, Pam said that she went to the designer's website and received it in Danish. There is, when you go to the website, I should have brought the website up, but when you go to the website, you actually can click, if you look at the top of it, it will tell you different languages, because I think there's about 5 of them that the pattern's available in. And if you click on English patterns, it will only bring up her patterns that are available in English.
Okay.
So. Okay, so before we go any further, I just want to show one picture, because I always love when I see pictures of the grandkids and they've got their knitwear on. So my daughter-in-law sent me this picture just this past weekend, and I just got to find it here. Here we go. So this is Declan, and he's wearing he is wearing his Elwood, and that is by Jenny Wiebe. And Kelly and I have both knit this pattern. It's a great pattern for kids. The original pattern that she has, it actually shows, I think, just a single color stripe. I think she's got a main color and a single color.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, but you can, it's a great way to use up leftovers of different types of colors.
Yeah, you can do so many things. It's just like a blank canvas. Yes.
Yeah. And this is done in the Barocco vintage. Yeah, the Barocco vintage. So it's a worsted weight cardigan. It's a great, if you're going to a baby shower, it's a great pattern for babies. It works up quickly because it is in the worsted weight. You can make the cuffs extra long. You can make the body long. So because my daughter-in-law thinks that this will still fit him in the fall. So that's nice.
And I really like that shawl collar detail in it as well. It's just a great pattern. It really is all the way around.
It is a great pattern. And again, we said before, like that pattern goes up to adult.
Yes, it does.
Like right from baby up to adult. So, and it seems to fit really nice with the raglan shaping, like in the shoulders.
It does. Yeah.
So, because I think sometimes some of the kids' ones that have drop shoulders, it makes it more difficult then to get their coat on or something on top of it. But the raglan just seems like a little less fabric in here, so it's easier to get their coat on and off with it. Okay, so where do we want it? Maybe we'll do what we're wearing, and then we'll go into a surprise.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. Okay, so what are you wearing?
I am wearing the Sheep Camp sweater. Oh, and there it is. I was going to say, I know I typed it in. I just didn't hit enter. There we go. And it is by Jennifer Berg. And I knit this one a little while back, but it's using the Skeins Southlander Sport that you brought back for me from New Zealand. And then this is the color work in it is the Spin Cycle dyed in the wool. And the color is the Knitting Loft. This was actually their color, and I love the way it looks. It's not something that I would have normally paired with the burgundy, but I absolutely love the way it turned out. So the sweater looks really good. It's a little bit, it's not really a cropped. I wear it with jeans and I don't need to wear anything under it. So I think it's plenty of good length. I did shorten the sleeves because I'm just a bracelet length kind of girl. I honestly, I've made a few sweaters recently that have been long sleeves, but I'm just more comfortable in this length. It doesn't interfere with my watch. It just fits comfortably on my arm. I find if I have something long sleeves, as soon as I'm trying to do something like work in the kitchen or whatever, I'm constantly pushing it up anyway. So for the only time, I mean, I guess I should say the only thing that this is not great for is when you actually want to have long sleeves and then you can't make the sleeve any longer. You're stuck with what it is. But this is where you just make sure that you've made some hand warmers or mittens that have a long cuff, and then you're good to go. You're gold. But it's really nice. So it's a sport weight yarn. I think I mentioned that. And there's not a lot of patterns out there for sport weight. It's kind of like a little bit rare to find them, like to find the one that you really like. And I have other yarn for this that I have been planning to cast on for some time now. It was also some Knitting Loft, and it's her Mesa base. So it's one of their house bases. And I have another skein of dyed in the wool that I wanted to partner with that as well. So I have to get that on needles because I really like the colors. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing.
Okay. And I am wearing the Tolsta Tee by Rebecca Clow. And I did this just last year because I think I actually wore this when we went to Knit City, Toronto last year.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is done with Knitting Loft yarns. I've got a couple of pictures here, but it's done with their Cardi, which is a what is it? It's a flax merino base. And this color is called Coral Crush. And then the stripes are done with another one of theirs, which is called the Knitting Loft Twinkle. And the colorway is Diamond Dust. And the Twinkle has acrylic, mohair, sequins, stellina. So it's got the stellina and little sequins. It sparkles when you're out in the sun. And it comes in 50-gram balls. So it didn't even take one of that. And then in the cardie is it's a DK to a worsted weight. It took 1.8 skeins and it comes in 100 gram skeins.
Mhm.
But it's nice for warmer weather. I mean, I don't know that I'd wear it like in a 37
In the
degree,
summer,
whatever,
no,
humid, but it really is nice for kind of like transition and into like some days that are a little bit warmer. The pattern is so easy to adapt to what you want. So
it's another one of those blank canvas patterns, right? Yes.
Yeah, I chose to do like the smaller stripes, and then I edged the neck of the tee with the twinkle, and then again on the armbands here, just with a little bit of the twinkle. And it just, especially when you're doing stripes like this, it just works up so quickly. And this pattern fits really nice through the shoulders. It is a raglan, and yeah, I mean, I think you could make this in so many different iterations, and it wouldn't look like the same sweater.
No,
because you've got one that you've done with eyelets in it, and you could do like a solid color. You could do like your thicker stripes, or I don't know, there's a lot of variations. When you buy the pattern, it actually comes with a whole PDF full of different variations that people have done to make it. And it also comes in DK weight as well as a fingering weight. Now her DK weight, when she does it, she does a 17 stitch gauge. I don't like DK at a 17 stitch gauge. So this is at a 20 stitch gauge. So I just did the modifications and went up a little bit to get that. So I just find 17 stitches for me is just a little bit too loose. And especially with having the kids over and things, it's so easy for them to catch their fingers in something and pull it. And so I just find it's easier to adapt the gauge to what I want.
So. For sure.
Okay.
Kay was commenting that she agrees about the sport weight comment. It's her favorite weight, but there are not a lot of patterns for it. I wish there were a few more, but I guess also maybe there's not as many yarns in a sport weight. It's kind of that unusual, but it's such a good weight to work with for a sweater because it's still like, it's not overly hot. It's just a nice...
When I'm looking for a pattern, I don't necessarily look for something that says it's sport weight. I look at the gauge. No. Like I like sport weight to be knit at about a 23 or 24 stitches. So if you just go in, when you go into Ravelry, you can actually adjust a search to say the gauge that you want, as opposed to the yarn weight that you want. So,
and Jess mentions Libby Johnson, who is truly Myrtle, who actually this I might have a skein of it right here. Oh,
yeah, she did some colorways for.
Yeah, and this is one of her colors. I'll find it right as soon as I'm done this. But this is one of her colors, and this colorway is called Hope. And I know that it's one that she designed. So Jess is saying that she does a lot of patterns using the sport weight, and I guess I never really thought to look that up. So I will definitely put that on my radar too.
Yeah. Okay, so should we go into the little giveaway?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so recently I finished the Twisting Trails Toe Up Socks, and that was a pattern by Patty of Forest City Knits. And I know I typed that in here somewhere. Okay, so the Twisting Trails Toe Up Socks, and Patty has generously given us some patterns to give away. So I'll bring up a picture and show you what the socks look like. So she's done it in different versions. It's a really nice pattern to use with self-striping yarn, and it's also a shorty version. So it's nice to have a shorty pair too, and the texture really shows up nice if you use a plain yarn.
Yes.
So we are going to give away 5 patterns tonight. And then we're also going to give away 5 patterns to anybody that watches after or puts a comment in after the fact, and we will draw those before the podcast next week. And Forest City Knit Girls, if you haven't watched, their latest episode was, I believe, just out this past weekend. But Patty does talk about the socks, and I do believe that she's got a discount code going until the 17th of May. She is also having a knit along with these socks, and there are some amazing prizes that go with the knit along. Like I think they've got a kit for the Shift Cowl by Andrea Mowry with Spin Cycle yarns.
Very nice.
And there's another prize too. I can't remember what it was. It was a very nice prize too. So, if you want to join in the knit along, they were really fun to make. They are a toe up sock. If you've not tried toe up, this is a good time to try it. I found the instructions were clear, well written, and easy to follow. So in order to be entered, we will just start this right now. We want you to type in #twist, and then we are going to give away 5 of the patterns tonight, and then we will again give away another 5 next
week.
So
yes. Well, I was thinking that I needed to cast on some new socks to go on the train with. So that might be a great pattern to cast on.
Yep. And I mean, especially I like when you do toe up too, because you get that toe done and then you're right into the sock, and doing the toe seems like it takes less time than doing all the ribbing in the start of the sock.
Yes, for sure.
So but anyway, so we want to thank Patty. Again, I want to cast on. I was actually thinking of that too, casting on a pair for the train, but I want to do the shorty ones.
Yes, very nice.
And that one color, I'll bring the picture back up again. Here, we can take this off for now, but I'll bring the picture back up again of the socks. She used the Leo and Roxy yarn, not the striped. I can't remember what her striped one was, but the gold ones are the straw into gold.
Straw into gold, of course. Yes,
they look so good.
So good,
so good. And when I did mine, I didn't put a picture of mine in there, but when I did mine, I used timber yarn self-striping, and it really does. It's a beautiful pattern for self-striping. Would be a perfect pattern for all of the self-striping that comes up for your Advent socks. So, okay, so we'll let that run for a few minutes.
Yes.
And we talked about what we're wearing. Maybe we'll just see. Do you have any finishes this week?
I do, but I can't show it. It's not knitting. It's some sewing, but it's gift sewing, so I can't talk about it until until I've gifted it away. So,
okay.
So short answer is no.
Okay. Okay. I have a couple. I have 3. So the one's just really quick because it's my, let me just find the banner here. I think I would be more organized, but I'm not. So this is my Hilla by Adele McBride. This is the one that I did for the.
Oh, so you've got it blocked.
Yeah,
very
so
nice.
I've got it blocked and I've got the button sewn on, and it's too hot to wear it.
It's cold down here today. I'm sorry. I know it's supposed to be like 20 degrees out.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not
really chilly. No, not that cold. Definitely not that cold.
So anyway, there's the pattern. So this is done in the Danish yarn, which I can't remember the name of because I can't pronounce it. It starts with an H. That the company is Heilholtz. And then this is their Aran weight in it. And then the contrasting colors are Adele's yarn, which I believe is a merino tweed yarn in the colorways rhubarb and emerald. So yeah, so
what a difference blocking makes. It looks so good.
It does. I know. It really the stitches open up and the color work flattens out. And then she also gives you these cute little, that's her little tag there to put on it after. Yeah, so that's my first finish. And then my second one is, I did finish my.
Oh, they look so good.
These are my socks done with Manos del Uruguay. This is their super pool kits, and this is the colorway Trapeze. So it actually is yarn that comes with 100-gram skein of the main color, and then a 20-gram mini for your heels, toes. And I just kind of did the very beginning of the sock cuff with the contrast color. And I've still got, like, I think almost 50 grams still left of the main yarn. Not enough left of the contrast, but if I got another contrast out, I could easily do another pair of socks with it. But I really do like how that yarn knits up.
Yeah.
And the Manos, I hadn't knit with the Allegria for quite a while, but that is a nice yarn. So again, they have this at Little Red Mitten, and there's quite a few different colors in these sets. And all I did was a 64 stitch sock. I did a twisted rib at the top, and then I just put in a little shell pattern down because it makes the counting much easier. I don't have to put stitch markers in, and then I know that I've got the exact number of those. And then I just did a rounded toe down at the bottom, heel flap and gusset, and they were perfect plain knitting and perfect train knitting. So so they were almost totally made in Scandinavia.
There you go.
So okay. So maybe before I go into the next one, maybe we've had people go in here. Maybe we should.
Why don't we go and do the draw?
Okay. So I'll pull that back up. And you know what? I'm going to do all 5 of them because
yes, yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Okay, but if you haven't typed it in yet and you're still interested, just keep typing in, because if it doesn't get here in the first draw, it will when we get to the 5th one. So here we go. Okay, so the first one goes to LPGA, and I know at one point we did know the name, right? Kelly, can you remember?
Yes. No, I can't remember.
Okay, well, anyways, congratulations. So I'm going to do the next draw. I know, yay.
We need music. We need music.
Lynn McLeod.
Congratulations, Lynn.
I'm just writing these down. So, okay. Next one. I love doing this. Kathy Schaefer. Congratulations, yay. Kathy. Okay, here we go again.
Okay.
Okay. Jean M. Congratulations, Jean. And last time, so quickly, if you haven't got it, your hashtag twist, get it in there. We're going to draw one last time. Okay.
And LPGA is Makealongs. So
okay.
There we go. And congratulations.
We'll okay. And the last one. Tracy.
Tracy. Hey.
Congratulations, Tracy.
Tracy will find a way to add mohair to them.
Yes. Well, why not?
Why not? Right? Why not? Okay.
Okay. So, congratulations, everybody.
I will grab you the address. There you go.
So in order to get your pattern, you can email us at knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com, and I will send you a code so that you can go in and you can get your pattern and you can get started. And like I said, go check out, I will link Forest City Knit Girls in the show notes. Go and check out their latest episode. And remember, if you do that and you join their knit along for the socks, when they're finished, you can also enter them in our knit along for your long sock knit along. So you can double dip with that. So.
And just remember too that after the show is over, don't do it now, but after the show is over, you can go into the comment section. And if you're interested to win, just put in a note, something about the socks, and Noelle will do the draw next week before the show. And we will announce 5 winners from the after show people. So if you didn't win tonight and you're still interested, you can do that too.
Yep. And thanks again to Patty for donating those. That was very generous of you. And I know that anybody that knits them is going to love them. So
yes, absolutely.
Okay. So I have one more finish, and this is my sweater. So this is my porcelain sweater by Lynette, who is Lean Home Samsoy. And this is the one that I started in Denmark. I don't have any pictures yet. In fact, the one sleeve is still wet because I just finished it. I just sewed the ends in this morning and blocked it. I had the fan blowing on it and it's all dry except for this one. I need to concentrate on this one arm to get it dry. So it is done in yarn that I got at a yarn store in Copenhagen called Sommerflugen, which means butterfly.
Okay.
And the yarn is basically their own yarn brand, which is called Wallow. So it is the soft wool held with their mohair. So I believe the one color is sand and the other color was called Ron. But the Ron I didn't hold with their mohair. I held it with Knitting for Olive in the
blood orange.
Yep. So blood orange and Ron held together gave this color. And then the others, theirs were quite close together. So this was their soft wool and this was their silk mohair. And I believe that color was called sand. And this is the third ball. They're 50-gram balls. That's all. I've still got this much left of the third ball. Like there's 350 meters in this yarn. It's
like Titicaca. It goes forever, right?
It's
that like, yarn. Yes.
Yeah. But it knits up, like it knits up to a decent gauge. Right. And then that's what I've got left of that was a 50-gram ball. That's what I've got left of the contrast color. I only had one ball of the silk mohair, of the Knitting for Olive silk mohair. I think I still have 5 grams of that left. And then I've got over half a ball left of the 4th skein to go with this nice one. So the sweater, even though I think it's going to be like cozy, it still doesn't really have
light
a whole lot of weight to it. It's nice and light. So changes that I made in the pattern, I changed the short rows. So I put all my short rows into the rib of the sweater because the girl at the store that was wearing it, which is what inspired me to knit it, she said that it seemed like there was a lot of short rows and it kind of made a lot of extra fabric in the back. So I thought, well, I'm just going to put them into the rib then. So you can see my rib at the front is
a little shorter,
quite a bit smaller. Plus the pattern has a fold over neck. I always find fold over necks hot.
A little too much.
So I don't do them very often. So I decided to do this instead. I trimmed it with the contrast color, which that's not in the pattern either. And then in the sleeves, I actually decreased at a quicker rate because the sleeves are quite generous. So they were having them wider all the way down. I just tapered them a little bit more. And I think I went down just a tiny bit more at the bottom. So those are still a little bit looser sleeve cuff than what I would normally do for myself, but I do really like it.
Still smaller than the pattern. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I did, again, trim that with the contrast color at the bottom of the same there, but I didn't do it with the bottom of the rib because sometimes I just don't want that line across the middle. But anyway, really happy with it. It was a really fun pattern to knit.
It's pretty. I like that the color work comes so far down into the body.
Yeah. So you do split, like you split for the sleeves, like in the middle of this plain section here, or at the end of this plain section, actually. And then the sleeves have still got that band of color work on them. So I couldn't finish it when I was there because I didn't have my little blue shorties from Chigu. And I don't like doing color work in the round, even on the sleeves in magic loop or anything else. I like to have those little circulars. So yeah, so I am going to bring that with me. We'll see whether the weather is supposed to turn out a little bit cooler than what we originally thought.
I know. It started out that it was looking so nice, and now it's, I think Monday is all the way down to 11 degrees. So it's chilly again. So we definitely want to be warm. We'll be packing some warmer sweaters too, for sure. But
definitely, I would say try it if you. Yeah. It's actually, I would say, a really good first color work because there's not a lot of places where you really have to catch your float.
No floats.
There's only one row at the top and bottom of the very last motif that you actually have to catch it. Just 2 rows, I think, in the whole sweater. The rest of it is all like workable without catching the floats. If you didn't want to do past here, you could actually just do those first couple of bands and leave the sleeves blank if you thought that for a first time sweater that might be, more work to have to do it in the sleeves and the round. You could actually just do the top 2 motifs. So she does also have another pattern that's very similar. It's the porcelain sweater, and it's basically the same motifs, but it's a drop shoulder.
Okay.
And then this one is called the porcelain yoke. So yeah. So that was basically finishes for this week. So
yeah, Sarah will be missing you while we're gone. She says, have the best time in Montreal. Yes. Wish you were coming. Can't wait. I can't wait to see the people though. The people that we only get to see when we go to Montreal.
I know.
Right?
I know. Yep.
It'll be so much fun.
Yep. Okay. So do you have any whips?
Oh yes. I have lots of whips.
I think I have 3.
Okay. I might even have more than that. Well, okay. So the first one is going to be super quick.
Go.
These are just the booble socks. Last week, I've been saving these for coffee shop knitting. So I think last week I had just made it just into the gusset. So at the coffee shop this Saturday, I got down into the foot. This is my second sock. This is the booble sock pattern. I've got a banner by Nancy Wheeler. She released this pattern for this year's support of breast cancer research. And I think we can all guess what the little boobles are supposed to mimic. And I'm doing mine in nude colors. So I'm calling mine the nude boobles. So I should definitely be able to finish this sock at some point this weekend. It's very potato chippy once you get going on it. It's easy to do. And I love this yarn. It's so soft. This is the Barocco vintage sock. And I don't know what the colors are. Maybe it's oats, maybe it's not.
Might be oats, but I know they have a couple of different like beiges, so it's hard to know for sure what.
Yeah. And then this one is a mini curio by Universal Yarns. And I like these little minis because they come in 25 gram skeins, which is perfect. I'm just going to do the toe in that color as well. So it just gives you a little bit of contrast. You know, and we keep saying this, but it's not always as much fun to knit something that's a plain color because you're just like, it's not exciting. There's no stripes. You're not seeing any color changes. But when it's done, I'm so grateful that I have neutral basic socks in my wardrobe because I'm going to reach for them again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
They're just not as exciting to knit as some of the other things.
But they are I don't mind them if there's texture in them.
Yeah, and there's definitely texture. I mean, this and these are even, dare I say, the boobles, they're not difficult to do.
No.
I have done some patterns where I've actually amended the way you do a bobble just because it was tedious or not fun to do. These ones work up really quickly. She's got a really good recipe for how to do them. And I really like the way they ended up looking. So it's a great pattern. Highly encourage you to get on board with these. It's such a good fit too. Her patterns are so good.
Yeah, they do. Yep. Okay, so my first whip is the Zigzag Scarf by Christy Cam. And I do have a picture of it so that you can see what it looks like. So this is again, I cast this on because it's a great project to take with you when you're, you know, like it's the pattern's one row. But saying that, even though it's one row, I actually had to put in stitch markers because and I can tell you what it is because the pattern's free. So the row is just knit 5, knit 2 together, knit 4, knit front and back. But it's amazing how you can get that knit 5 and that knit 4 mixed up. So if you put the stitch markers in every pattern repeat, then if you get to the end and you're not at the knit front and back, you'll know that you counted something wrong. So I'm doing it in yarn that I got in New Zealand. It is the Countrywide Yarns Mandala. It's a 4-ply yarn. So there's my 2 colors. Right. So you can see the one that I showed the picture of, the stripes were actually quite contrasty. So you saw more definition, but here's mine. But you can see it's just gradual.
Oh, it's pretty.
The changes
very
in
nice.
Yeah. So I think it's going to look, well, I do like knitting it, but it is like, this is a 3mm needle, 200 gram skeins of 4-ply yarn. It's going to take forever, but it is perfect yarn again for the train, the plane, the wherever, as long as you've got your little markers in there and you can just keep on knitting. So this is going to be, it's just going to have subtle changes in it, but I'm really liking it. And when I bought this yarn, I had originally bought it and thought I would do socks with it, not realizing it was 100% wool with no nylon in it. So I thought, well, I'm not going to do socks with it because it's not even a super high twist. So I thought this is actually the perfect project to keep for the coffee shop, the train, or just wherever you need something to knit on that you don't really have to think about. So, and again, that's a free pattern. And there's lots of different, it would be really neat to do it in, if you had 2 self-striping yarns or self-striping where you started at opposite ends of it so that you merled the colors, or any of the, I think the original ones were those ones with kind of like the long color repeats.
Okay.
Milifori color. And I think some of the Lang yarns have some of those too. And then you would see gradual opposite fading sort of. So I think there's a lot of things that
it would look really good. Really good. I think so too.
So, okay.
Well, the next one that I have is my ranunculus that I cast on last Tuesday. When did we podcast on Monday?
Monday.
Maybe I did it Monday morning. I'm not sure. Anyway, said that I was going to get it finished because I don't want to be knitting sleeves on a train, and I am for sure going to be knitting sleeves on a train. So I have finished the body, and
That looks good.
I'm
That color
so
is
happy
beautiful.
with it. The color is gorgeous. This is the Alpaca Mist by Estelle Yarns. And this, do they have colorways on theirs? Yes, this is Sapphire.
Okay.
It's so beautiful and fluffy. And I think I'm going to finish up just using 2 skeins. That's what I have left in my second skein, and I'm on to the sleeve. Of course, it's going to be 3/4 sleeves, of course. So I'm just on to 1 sleeve at this point. I'm trying to remember too, when I knit this before, did I ever decrease in the ranunculus? I'm probably going to go down to a ribbed cuff, and I'll have to do maybe a little try on it. And it doesn't take very long. I could have been done this quicker, but I seem to have misplaced my 5mm long short needle. And so I'm on the shorties, and it's really, it's cumbersome.
Yeah.
I'm not having fun. I said to Noelle just before the show, I may even, dare I say, switch over to DPNs, because since this yarn is so light, it actually just feels like a struggle to go off the cord onto the needle. So it's nice, you know, it didn't bother me when I had like a longer needle, like a gradual feeding onto the needle. But somehow, once you get down to these teeny tiny little short guys, it doesn't really want to feed on there very smoothly. So I find that it's going pretty slow. And maybe if I run a DPN, I could actually move along a little bit quicker, because I want to at least get 1 sleeve finished before I hop on that train. I'm actually planning to wear this one day in Knit City, so definitely need to have it finished. But I'm very, very happy with the color. And somebody's asking, is the alpaca hot? It's going to be like 80 degrees over the weekend. I don't think it's going to be that warm over the weekend. Actually, the schedule has changed quite a bit, and I don't find this to be warm. I had made this yarn into a sweater that I wore last year to Rhinebeck, and Rhinebeck was quite warm, and it's very airy. This, like, when you look at a single layer of this, it's quite light. Let's see if I can do it this way. You can see, like, you can see through it. It's quite light and fluffy. Like, I will wear a camisole under this even. And I don't find that this was to be too hot at all. So there we go. And you're right, Sarah, it is slow because you can't load up the stitches on the left needle. That's exactly why it's slow. So I'm definitely going to do something different for these sleeves for sure, because I want to get this done. And I don't want to be having to do all of it on the train, because I've done that before. But I'm very happy with it. And it's so lightweight. So lightweight. Okay.
Okay, so my next whip is a test that I am doing for Jennifer Shills Toland, and it is the Beachside Crew test knit. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like looking what I have on.
Very similar.
I think I must like that. So I'm onto the sleeve. So I've got the body. It is longer than I normally make my sweaters, but I tried it on, and I really do like it. It's got a split hem. Yep. And so I am doing it in Holst Garn Coast held double, and I am using a 3 3/4mm needle. So I've still got the neckband to do, and in the neckband there was a choice of, there's a rolled neck, a ribbed neck, and an I-cord. I think I'm going to do the ribbed. I like a ribbed neck. It was either the ribbed or the rolled. I'm not crazy about an I-cord, although having said that, my next project's got an I-cord. Whatever. Anyways, I think I'm going to do the ribbed, especially with the coast, because being cotton, I think the rib gives it a little bit more to hold its shape rather than the rolled. So the colors that I'm using are Red Currant, and this light color is called Dove. So I'm onto the sleeve, which again, this is like, I've got all these things that are going to be great train knitting. You know, we're not on a train for that long.
No, and you know you're going to buy things there, so slow down on the projects, because you know you buy in cast on.
But this is the test. The test deadline is May 27th, so I do have to get this done. So, but I don't think it'll take that long. And I think once I get into the stripe portion of the sleeves stripes always seem to go quick because you just want to get to the next. And
Yeah.
I have gone down and I've actually sewed in all my ends so far. So those are all sewed in. So I'm just going to show you. There's the back where I have switched colors. So you can see her method is pretty good for
yeah, it looks really clean.
Getting rid of the jog when you join up colors. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to wearing that. So it won't be quite like this one because this one's short sleeve. This is going to be long sleeved. I mean, they are different colors. The stripes are different.
Slightly.
So it's like a totally different sweater.
Totally different.
So,
totally
but
different.
You can see now I'm into these. I'm into like oranges and greens, and like the pink is gone. So, but anyway, I'm enjoying knitting that. So, okay.
Rosie, that's exactly what I normally do, is that I load up, I put a 3-inch on the one side and the 2-inch on the other side. But I don't know where my 3-inch tips are gone. I was talking to Noelle about this too. When I opened up my case, the only needles that were missing were the 3-inch tips. The cords are all there. So I don't know. I can't even imagine where a 5mm 3-inch tips have wandered off to, but I'm going to look again. Other than that, I'm going on to DPNs. So, all right. So
okay, Marcia just wanted to know what the stitch gauge is in the test. It's
on the
22.
Test?
Yeah, 22 stitches. So, and I had done some other sweaters in Coast held double, so I kind of knew what I was going to get. I believe that we did Beth McDonald Stone's. What was the one with all the? Do you remember the name of it?
The Deep Bean.
Was it Deep Dean, the one with I'm talking about the cottony one. You did it in purple.
I did it in purple?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. The yeah, no, it's like an argyle with the diamonds.
Yes, but I can't remember the name of it.
I can't remember the name.
Anyways, I've done several sweaters with and that's actually, I know that 22 stitches I get on a 3 3/4mm needle. I believe that the pattern actually calls for a 4, but I knew what I needed to get that, and it's working out fine. So,
okay. Sharon was asking what size needle did I use for my ranunculus. I used as 5mm, and I'm actually getting the perfect ranunculus gauge. I think it's a 14-stitch gauge, and that's actually what I'm getting with that, even though it's a denser fabric than that original ranunculus on a 5mm. And I'm just using the original pattern, not the one where she had sizes.
Sizes. Okay.
Yeah. So just whatever the size was.
So the original, if you use the original pattern, I believe is size 3 in the new version. I think. So.
It's odd because the only thing that changes is just how many stitches you're dealing with under here. The yoke in that pattern is the same across all the sizes, or that's what I was told anyway. Julia
I don't
was
know.
So it's very unique. Anyway, that's what I used. And Julia, yes, no, I did not use the 5 on my stripes. I used a 4 on my stripes. So it's not, and that bag's been long emptied out. So I don't know where they are. Like I said, the cord has been put away. I just don't know where I would have misplaced the needles at. That's super irritating to not have it. So, okay. The next thing that I've been puttering away working at when I should be working on other things, but rabbit holes, right? I've started doing this. So
that looks good.
Doing some fun things to my jeans. And I've done a front patch pocket. I've got a picture to show you a close-up after. And then I did on the back pocket as well. And I'll show you, I've got a couple of pictures loaded in here. I can show you up close. So this is using this is the back pocket. Those English paper piecing hexagons that I've been doing for my quilt. I've had this idea for a while that I wanted to incorporate it into some mindful mending. Not that these jeans needed any mending. They didn't have a single hole in them. I was thinking, should I cut some holes in them? I don't know. But anyway, so what I did here is I undid the pocket and I slid my hexi flower up inside the pocket, and then I restitched the pocket back down. But I wanted it to look sort of, I don't know, like shadowing. So I did a chain stitch of where the remaining hexes would be in like a chromatic embroidery floss that changes colors automatically. And then I did a little bit of sashiko down here at the bottom. And then this is the front pocket. So I didn't want it to be a full flower, just kind of like pieces of a flower. So I did that. Again, I did a little bit of the outline chain stitching and some more sashiko. And then I think this is just the same thing with a different view. So I have one more that I want to put on the left front leg or part of a flower, and then bring that down the leg with some longer sashiko stitching. Whether or not I get that done before we go, because I thought this will look so good with my purple Tulsa tee. So I was planning to bring this with me to Montreal. So I'll see where I get on that tonight, because I'm really running out of time, right? But I might be able to accomplish that, or at least get it to some state that maybe I could do some stitching on the train too, because I've just, got, yeah, like you said, it's a 3 hour, it's just a 3 day
I know.
train ride.
I've got about 48 hours worth of work to do on a
right?
3 hour or
yeah, on this
6 hour train ride.
Yeah, I know. I'm the same way, but I'm having fun, and it's just really fun to see the way you can incorporate different almost media into your fashion. Like it started out, with a quilting flower, and then, I could add some embroidery to it and just really change up on how something looks. Right. And anyway, I'm happy with how it's going so far.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. So Klaska, thank you. It was the mid-ocean tee that we did for Beth McDonald Stone. Yes. Yeah. Very good.
Okay, so my last whip that I've worked on this week is the Fern Tee by Pernell Larson. So Pernell Larson is knitting for Olive.
Okay.
And I've got some pictures of what that looks like. So that's a look at the Fern Tee. So it's basically like a top-down yoke, but it's got a lace pattern that the increases are done within the lace so that it kind of flares out. So I am doing mine in Knitting for Olive pure silk in the colorway blood orange. And again, here when I was talking about it does have an I-cord neck.
Okay. Yes.
But this is different. This was like a cast on for the I-cord. So she has you cast on with a provisional cast on, then you do the I-cord, then you pick up the stitches and you work down. So oftentimes I try to avoid doing a provisional, but the instructions that she had were pretty clear and it worked out fine. So now I'm just in the portion where I've increased out. Now my row gauge is quite a bit tighter. I need more rows. So what I'm doing is I'm just spacing out the increases a little bit more, and I'll make sure that I'll make sure that I work to the right row depth. But with this silk, I wanted a little bit tighter fabric because I have a feeling that it is going to stretch a little bit. So I'm on a 3mm needle, and I really do like the fabric that I'm getting. And even when I pull it, it's not as stretchy because some of them on this go to a bigger needle, but I think I don't know. It's not like a wool yarn where you're going to have that spring back. So I'd rather do it on a tighter needle. So again, this is the lace is pretty easy. It's only like 1 out of every 4 rows that you're really doing something. So again, this would be perfect for train knitting. So we're going to be doing all these things on the train, but yeah, I'm really liking it. And I love the feel of
We're going to have to stay on the train for a week
forever.
Just to be ready to get off the train for sure.
Yeah. So that's my last thing that I worked on this week.
Okay. So. Margot is saying that the ranunculus size 2 is the original pattern size 1 size 2. So just in case anybody was wondering if they have the pattern that's sized, that's what I'm doing. And there was another comment there. Pam is asking a question. Pam, I've got you starred. I'll get to that in just a little bit. So, okay, the one other thing that I worked on this week, and it's just easier to show it this way. I've been making more of my 9 patches for my quilt. So I'm about halfway through all of the 9 patches. This is for the library nook. Yes, by Modern Charm Stitchery. and it is a sew along where she has you make some little 9 patches, and then you also make some English paper piece flowers, and you just randomly put these in here. So I'm doing mine in purples and greens. Seems to be a theme with me this week, or this, and so I'm just using different purples in here, and I have a low volume purple for in here, just like I have a matching low volume green for in these squares. And so these will just be all randomly pieced together with this has to still be stitched on these low volume squares, which would also be really great for on the train. I could carry this along.
Okay. Isabel says, remember, we're only taking the train to Montreal, not Vancouver. Maybe we need to take it to Vancouver.
I think it needs to be the around the world train trip, because I could have enough projects to go. And this doesn't even count for what we're going to get once we get there and decide we have to get onto needles right away. But yeah, anyway, so it's fun. This is a fun little project just to keep plugging away at. I'm having a lot of fun with my sewing machines down here lately, so it just feels good to be doing something different, maybe, but still knitting, still lots that I want to knit, but still only limited time that I can knit because of my hands. So, okay. So Pam was asking, does anyone know which episode had the Knit Companion discussion how to in it? We may have to go back on that, Pam. I can't remember when it was off the top of my head either, but I think we flagged it. Or was that before we started flagging?
I didn't think we did. I didn't know we did a Knit Companion. We might have talked about it at point, but we've never done like a how-to. Like, I think we've always referred to the Very Pink Knits tutorials for Knit Companion.
Oh, you might be right. I think we did talk about it in depth, but I don't think we actually ever did not a tutorial.
No. So I would definitely recommend Very Pink Knits. She's got a whole series of tutorials on Knit Companion, like right from like very basic into like more detailed things that you can do.
Yes.
So that's where I would go to look for it, because I do find it's nicer when you've got that tutorial to look at. I do find like having to go into Knit Companion itself and trying to find out how to do things, I don't find the most user-friendly. So most of the things that I've learned on how to do it has come from Very Pink Knits tutorials. Okay. So.
And Kim is saying that the Indian Pacific or the tan would be great train knitting trips here in Australia.
There you go. There you go. The train is, I must say, after this past trip, like the train seems like so much more civilized way to go than flying.
Yes.
Because it's not like that overwhelming airport experience. And you can get up and down. You're not limited to like stay in your seat or in the car, so you can move around a bit. And there's a little bit more room in your seats than there is on a plane. And it was even on one of the trips, I think it was when we went from Copenhagen to Gothenburg, the train was only 3.5 hours, but the train did not have a cafe car, and I really wanted a coffee. So I was asking, well, is there like, can you get a coffee on the train? Well, no, but they said, but we're stopping at this little place. We're stopped for 10 minutes. There's a coffee shop there. You can get off quickly, go get a coffee and get back on. So we did. And it's, let me tell you, it's like Ross is like freaking out going, we're going to miss the train. We're going to miss the train. But we did. We managed to go get the coffee, get back on the train. Luckily, there was no lineup in the coffee shop for coffee, but
yeah. And that's right, Darcy.
That on a plane.
Yeah, there's no restriction on needles on the train either. So
that's right. So
yeah, that's great. Okay.
So did you buy anything this week?
No, but I do have some decisions to make because I'm starting, and I'll just show you some options. Maybe we can talk about that. Okay. So I'm going to be starting a test knit for Jennifer Shields Tolan, and I know that you are as well. Have you done your swatching or anything yet? No, neither have I. So it is a cotton sweater, and she knit her sample. I believe it's Pasquale Soul. So I went through my stash and I found a couple of options that I think will work. And I am on the fence about what I want to do this with. I had said that I would do it with this. This is a discontinued yarn that I happen to have just the right amount of.
That's pretty.
And it is the Queensland Collection Dungarees Fine. So it is actually spun from recycled jeans, but it's so soft. So they must have been well-worn jeans. And so it's 95% cotton and 5% other fibers. And as I said, it's in indigo blue again. And I have just the right amount for the test knit. And I do really like this. But I also have this in my stash. This is the Cicero by Malabrigo, and this is the colorway Hollyhock. But I have more than I need. So I feel like I should say, well, I should save this for a larger project, but this is beautiful too. And this has little flecks of, is this flax? Silk?
Yeah, there's linen.
50% silk, merino, and 25% linen in it. Oh, is that what you have pulled out too? And it is a DK sport weight. But I have already knit a sweater in this and I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. So
my color is called Aguas. So, and I have 2 skeins, which is basically, I think, the perfect amount for the sweater.
Yeah. So I'm in between. And I'm not going to swatch twice. We all know I'm not going to swatch twice. So I need to make a decision on what I want to do this in.
Did you go? I'm taking my, I took out my other sweater that I made in this, which is the color that you've holding in your hand right there. And I'm going to measure my gauge on it and then look at what needles I've got. Then I'll do just a quick little thing to see if my gauge is still the same.
Oh, well, that's a pretty good idea too, since I have already knit with this. Yeah, I could do that. I knit the cravat in this. And I absolutely love that sweater. So, but anyway, both of these are lovely yarns. So I just have to make a decision what I want to cast on.
Okay. And that sweater is, again,
are we able to show a picture of it or not?
Well, she always says that you can show just not finished stuff.
Okay.
So it is Riptide Tea. And I just have a picture here that just shows she's only got it partially. I can't find it. Maybe I didn't put it in here. Anyway, it's very similar to her. Well, it's not similar, but it does have that Riptide pattern, just like kind of that.
It's a V-neck,
and it goes down.
And then and then the pattern goes down the front. And I really like the sweater, and it has a really beautiful finish for the hem. Lots of gorgeous details on this sweater for sure.
Yeah. So, but I think it's like, I think we've got till June 18th. So I doubt very much that I'm going to be starting that before.
I don't think I'll be starting it this weekend. No, but I was thinking I might swatch for it, on the train. That's a good thing to do on the train too.
I think I'm going to finish the other test knit that I'm doing for her first, and then I'll worry about but I just got the yarn out because I just wanted to, again, and I got the yarn and I got the other sweater. So I'm going to take a look to make sure my gauge is at least close before I do the gauge swatch. Because I had also thought about doing it in Durarum Natura Antigone.
Yes.
But I don't know. I do really like the Cicero. I just did a sweater in Antigone at the end of last year, so I kind of like to use the Cicero. So
Carrie says go blue. But that's because Carrie's favorite color is blue.
Blue.
But a few people are saying do the blue. Yes. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm interested to, I do definitely want to swatch with this. I want to see what it feels like on needles.
Yep.
And I really do like the color, but I mean, it's almost identical to the sweater on the color.
Yeah, but it's going to be
it's a completely different
type of sweater. That's right.
Yes. So. Yes, for sure. Okay.
Okay. So maybe we should talk about our knit-alongs.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. So we have a couple of knit-alongs going on. So our first one is the one that's going on all year long. So that's our sock make-along. So all you have to do is finish your socks and you can put them into the finished object thread. We draw 2 prizes a month. One is donated by our friend Natalie, who is Kelly, who is she?
Remembrances _ Natalie Sheldon.
Okay, Remembrances _ Natalie Sheldon. And then we also have a sock yarn prize. So the more socks you get in there, the more chances you have to win, because we actually go back right to the very first entry at the beginning of the year and draw up to the end of the current month. So, and we've got lots of pairs in there already.
We do. And we were hoping to get to 5,000 pairs this year. And if you keep knitting at the rate that you're knitting, friends, we will be there. Yes.
Yeah.
So. Okay. And then the next one that we have running from April 1st until June 30th is the All About the Condiments, because we like to put that stuff on everything and break it out with the condiments, add them to your project. Any project goes. It's a total of 50 grams of yarn. Yep. So not just the condiment, but like the yarns combined. And whips are allowed if they are less than 50% complete. And by condiment, we mean adding mohair, adding alpaca. The Make It Tweed is a condiment, adding glitter or sequins, sparkle, anything that you're any beading that you want to add to it, anything that you can do to like bling it up in any way, then that is what the condiment is. And we don't count those in our stash. That's what we say. So if we buy condiments, we say they don't count in stash. And that's our funny little way of looking at it. So you have until June 30th, and we will have a prize for that as well.
Okay. So
Montreal, let's talk about Montreal. So we're super excited to go to Montreal. And
we have enough projects for the train.
We do have enough projects for the train. Yes, we probably do. Yes. And so Montreal, it's Knit City Montreal, if you haven't heard of that. And we were there 2 years ago. It seems like every other year they will go to Montreal. And so this is a great chance for us to catch up with our friends that we only get to see when we go to Montreal. So we're super excited about it. And so we'll be taking the train. If you hadn't figured that out yet, we will be taking the train. And so if you see us in Montreal, please say hello. Come and say hi.
Yeah.
And I know that this year I've heard that they're actually putting in knitters lounges, like actual places to gather and visit and knit all the things that we didn't get finished on the train. So please come and say hello if you see us. We would love to see what you're wearing, see what you're knitting.
Show us what you're knitting.
What you bought.
Show us what you knit on the train.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
But we've been to, this will be the third time to Knit City Montreal, and I have had a great time every time. So
yes. That's right. It is the third time. I was thinking it was the second, but no, it's the third time.
Third time. So so we're taking the train. So it's a bit of an early morning start, but
it is.
But lots of knitting time, because I think our train leaves at 7:35 around that time, 7:35, and we don't get into Montreal until 5 o'clock. So that's a pair of socks, isn't it?
At least.
Anyway, so we're really looking forward to it. And again, we can't wait to see everybody, talk to everybody. Please come and say hi to us if you see us. Because remember, you know what we look like. We don't necessarily know what you look like.
Absolutely not. Yes. And Isabel, yes, I believe we are getting that same package at the hotel, which had some meals included, and as well, like a really nice lounge to hang out in it. So yes. And are you staying at the hotel too, Isabel? Are we going to see you there? Or are you just coming to visit like for the day? Or are you staying? Because that'd be really cool if you're staying.
Mm-hmm.
So Helen says she'll be there and alone. Well, absolutely. Find us, Helen.
Yeah, for sure. Come and see us.
Yes.
So.
Oh, yes. She's staying at the hotel. Yay, pajama party. Oh, I'm so excited about it. So we have 2 more sleeps, or as Isabel and I say, dodo. We have 2 more dodo before we go. And I'm nowhere near ready, but I hope to be a little bit more ready by end of day tomorrow.
Okay, well, that would be good.
Yes, it would.
So anyways, so you'll hear all about it next week. We'll see you next week. We'll be home next Monday. So we will see you next Tuesday. And in the meantime, we hope that you have an amazing week and get lots of knitting done, and just, enjoy the nicer weather. Hopefully you're in an area that's getting nicer weather. And so thank you again. Oh, don't forget, if you want a chance to win the Twisting Trails Toe Up Sock Pattern, after this video is up on YouTube, just go in under the video and type in, just leave us any comment. It doesn't matter. We don't, just talk to us. Tell us what you're knitting. Tell us what your favorite thing about spring and summer is. And we will draw 5 more pattern prizes before the podcast next week. So, and again, check out Forest City Knit Girls. You can get in on their knit along as well as putting your socks into our knit along. So congratulations to all our winners today. And we'll be glad to give 5 more patterns away next week. So
Absolutely.
Okay, so take care, everybody. We will see you next week. Happy knitting.